Ladies and gentlemen, this is by far the best patch BHVR has ever cooked up in my time of playing Dead by Daylight. This is 9.0 update. This is going to be the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter patch that's coming out tomorrow on the PTB. So they have a lot of stuff packed into this. They have finally fixed the go next epidemic. If a player is identified as intentionally going next, they will receive a DC penalty point. So if you incur enough points, you eventually get a DC penalty. They've also just straight up removed the ability to self unhook unless you have a perk or offering. So for example, Slippery Meat, Up the Ante, a luck offering, Deliverance, and Wicked would also be included. They have also down here, as you see, they've made it so that you can no longer immediately die after missing 2 skill checks. So it only takes a small chunk out of your timer overall, which is probably where there's a detection system is going to come into play. So if you're repeatedly missing these skill checks, it's probably assuming, okay, you're trying to go into the next match. You're not really wanting to just use a DC penalty, so it's going to rack up a penalty. Literally just DC, and this won't be a problem to you. Extreme hiding update. So as we know, people like to just sometimes not do gens for a long period of time, or specifically if you have ever been body blocked in a corner. I have. That kind of sucks. And then you're just griefed until you are forced to DC. Now when you have AFK crows, you can just run through that pesky survivor or killer that's body blocking you and be on your merry way. So that's nice. BLOODPOINT spending improvements. They even have a little GIF. All you need to know is this: you can literally just dump all your blood points in at once. You immediately move up prestige level. Super sick. It even tells you the exact amount of blood points that you're spending. It is huge. That is an awesome system. Mori update. So they made it now so that when someone is in the ground or like on a hook and you've downed that last survivor, you can Mori them. Basically, that's what this is if there's 2 or more survivors dead, then and the following is going on where the second last survivor is, like I said, hooked or on the struggle phase, or the final survivor is healthy, injured, or dying, you can actually just Mori the other person on the ground. So more base kit Mori's got a slight improvement here, so they're less restrictive overall. I think that's cool. It's just a cutscene. Map offerings. Map offerings now grant a flat percentage of being sent to the map instead of a guaranteed chance, and they no longer stack. So I believe some months ago they said it was going to be 20%. So it's going to be a 20% chance of going to the map of your choosing. And if you're in a Swift, it does not stack, of course, so you can't have 4 people stacking the same map to get an 80% chance. It's just a flat 20%, is not affected by any other factors. So that's kind of crazy. And this is kind of interesting. They made it so that if you play a map offering, it's now a secret offering. So people can't specifically target you if you bring a map offering, which I think is actually kind of nice. Spawn rule updates. So they talked a little bit about this previously. Survivors now spawn as close together as possible to kind of prevent map-wide spread and efficient gen efficiency. Survivors now spawn on the same floor when they can, so certain maps they might be a little finicky. The killer will not spawn at the center of small maps, specifically small maps. So you're not gonna have like a blight immediately right on top of you anymore, so that should be nice. They changed the name of Shroud of Separation to Shroud of Vanishing, and changed its effect to nullify offerings that change survivor spawn location, so a buff to the useless offerings. And they changed the name of Shroud of Binding to Shroud of Separation, and changed its effect to spawn survivors apart from one. So they fixed that, if you remember how it was inverted. So the killer actually had the bad Shroud offering, where if you played the Shroud offering as killer, it actually made the map harder for you. Whereas if you played Survivor and you played the one that made you group up together, that was actually bad for you. So now they've inverted that, so you have to use the offering to get the old effect. Gamma adjustments, it's very straightforward. You can now see. So this is what the menu looks like. You can change your brightness. This is the lowest brightness. This is the highest brightness. You know what I'm gonna be, you know what I'm gonna be using, so I can actually fucking see. As you guys know, I do use a brightness filter, and this is exactly what my game looks like. So I just got free FPS because now I don't have to use the NVIDIA Freestyle overlay, which takes like 10 or 20% of my FPS. So I get an FPS boost, and I can see win-win. Custom match improvements. They've now increased the spectator slots to 5 in custom matches. I think it was like 2 before. They've also added a hotkey, so you can quickly switch to the different views of the characters. And they've added controller support for all of these improvements. The artist, I don't even know why they put her on this list if they're not going to tell us what they did. They just say change to several add-ons. No, this is not an April Fool's video, guys, because this is exactly what I fucking did because I was too lazy. I guess I stay winning because I'm literally right about the devs sometimes. Yeah, adjusted several add-ons, not useful information at all, but they say that they like how the artist is. They think that she's relatively balanced, but they want to give her more variety with her add-ons, so they changed some stuff. The Lich, I haven't quite understood all this, but I think what they're trying to do, I think they saw that one meme. I'll have the meme up on screen right now. It came out like last night. It was, perk updates. I wish I could tell you what they're doing. Because we don't know. They just say they've updated a list of perks here. So we have Call of Brine, Dark Devotion, Hex Retribution, Machine Learning, Superior Anatomy, that's that 40% vault speed one, Terminus, Thrilling Tremors, and Thwack. I thought Thwack was honestly pretty much fine. So I don't know why they're changing that, but and then Survivor perk updates as well. Botany Knowledge, that's kind of interesting. Champion of Light, Counterforce, Desperate Measures, I'm hoping that gets a major buff. Empathic Connection, Exaltation, I don't even know what this one is. It's probably like one of the Tory perks that like no one uses. And Light Footed. So yeah, guys, this is the new patch. I am absolutely ecstatic about this. Huge quality of life improvement, especially at the very top here, the blood web stuff, and this, the biggest, is of course going next, is being fixed. So Killer will actually be playable again. Absolutely fantastic.